Again, this is not just about all of these numbers and all about dollars and cents, but about real people that need real solutions. And I'll turn it over to your real story.
Good to see you again.
Absolutely, you too.
Actually, a few weeks ago, we were in Senator Kafara's office, and she came out, and we kind of educated each other on what we know about this bill and what needs to happen. And one of the things that one of her aides had said is that it was being looked into as a long-term kind of goal, and nothing had been implemented at that point. To which I said, I may not have another year. I have complications from a brown recluse bite, and I also found a mass on my breast. My mom being a cancer survivor of breast cancer, it has taken 2 months for myself and the Cancer Society to even find a place that will give me a screening because I have no insurance. I am currently recently unemployed, but along the way I was able to raise 2 children on my own and attain 3 college degrees, including a master's in higher ed. So I think that when we look at the demographics of people who are affected, I think that it's a kind of a shameful thing to say that we all fit in a category, that we don't work, that we don't educate ourselves, because that has definitely not been the case for me. I've helped on a mortgage for 22 years, etc. So basically it comes down to mercy. And one of the things that I discussed with another organizer years ago is if there's this platform of pro-life, where then is the protection for that life once it's here? How can you say, you know, have children and then you can't take care of them? My kids are raised now, but since I have a grandbaby, I do want to be around to be part of her child rearing and part of my extended family. And so I simply ask that the time constraints that everybody's concerned with, each day somebody else has fallen through the cracks. And each day it's somebody's mother or grandma or child that's fallen between those cracks. So I beg of you, you know, as you see my face, remember somebody in your family or one of your friends' faces that you know you're going to lose without this legislation. I also think it's brilliant that she points out that this can all be remedied with one bank account and one slice of a pen. This can all just be put into place without the whole dance. And I really applaud Senator Kafara for really putting in the time and effort. I've seen women on both sides, House and Senate, really putting forth an effort. I've seen everybody putting forth an effort. But I think that, especially in my position, it speaks to me when you have children, when you have people that are affected, and you're kind of the one left holding the bag. You kind of say, hey, wait, here I am, that service worker, or that person you might not otherwise see. So I simply beg for mercy as a human being, and I think it's more of an ethical and a financial question, considering federal dollars will pay for 100% for the first 2 years, and that actually that money could be saved up for a 3rd year and years into the future that we are otherwise spending right now. And I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming down.
Thank you for having me.
Can you give us your name, please?
My name is Christina Schnetzer. I'm a grassroots ambassador, which is pretty much a title thing, but you know, with the OOC and also with Contact Center in Cincinnati. So in Clinton County, we're kind of one of the places that has really been affected with the DHL layoffs. There were 5,000 jobs that were affected and a populace of 10,000 people, which means every other person lost their jobs. There are people with doctorates working at Taco Bell, 40 miles from any major city, which in traffic translates to an hour and a half. So, you know, people say, oh, well, Dayton's right down the street, but it takes an hour and a half to get right down the street. We have 40 minutes just to the nearest highway. So if you look at the demographics, it's very difficult to find employment.